Shop-bought wreaths and garlands always seem to cost so much money, and frankly it never ceases to amaze me just how much they charge. But if you look carefully in your garden, or if you're lucky enough to live in the countryside, there's almost always something you can use to create a wreath or a garland. And the effect is almost always much more natural than the little sort of gaudy things that you'll find in the shops. Now what I want to show you today is this one here, which I'm particularly fond of. Look at those beautiful colours. And this is a natural dark wood wreath that I've got here. And over the top is some eucalyptus that actually I got in my garden, and some mahonia that I sprayed bronze, and some berries. Now these are actually fake, I put my hand up, but they last a little bit longer than the real thing, although of course you could use real ones if you wanted to. And what I really like about this are the soft, muted, natural colours. It's such a beautiful combination. Now this is very, very simple to put together. To make this, I bought an ordinary wreath from my local florist, and this is a twiggy wreath, and I really like the look of that. I think it's a very attractive thing in its own right, and I like the naturalness of it, and I'm going to let that show through the arrangement. And then I've taken my bits of eucalyptus, and I'm just going to wind those loosely into the twigs. And I'm really not going to build too much into this wreath. I want it to sit very, very naturally. Put that one over the top. Just a few sprigs here and there will do the trick, because I want these soft browns to show through. Just another one here. I'm probably not going to use more than about half a dozen pieces of eucalyptus around the whole wreath. Just one more, I think, around here. And then here's my mahonia that I sprayed bronze. I'm just going to sit that in here. And my berries, and look at that gorgeous plummy colour against the green. It's lovely, isn't it? Just put that in there. And I would just work round the whole of the wreath. It will probably take 20 minutes or so, but let those twigs show through, because you can see the finished one, what a lovely subtle effect it is, and how nice and natural that would look in the home. Now that's pretty simple, but even simpler is this one on my left here, hanging up against the barn wall. Now for this I just took sprays of eucalyptus and tied them in a circle with bits of florist wire and let them splay out in this Catherine wheel effect. And then in between I just put some copper beech. Now that did come from my garden, but if you haven't got any, just pop down to the florist. You can buy all sorts of dried flowers at this time of year, and you can also get lots of foliage and leaves like this. So anything that you want to put in, perfectly acceptable, but I would go for very natural muted colours, and I think that's terribly simple. Also, with the eucalyptus, you get the beautiful fragrance coming into the house. And one last word on eucalyptus: if you have a eucalyptus tree in the garden and some of it's died and fallen to the ground, pick it up and take it into the house, and if you've got an open fire, put it on the fire. You'll be amazed at the aroma that goes through the room. It's completely delightful. Now in direct contrast, what have I got here? Well, it's a copper leaf oak garland. Look at that. Beautiful, the way it glints in the light. It really does catch the light, and if you hung this up in the house near a fireplace again, the flames would really catch the metal. I think it's most attractive. Now it is much more labour intensive to make this than the two wreaths I've just shown you, but having said that, the actual leaves are easy to cut out. It's just that you're cutting out quite a lot of them. And for a garland this length, which is about 6 feet, you'd need about 50 leaves. So it'd take you about 3 or 4 hours to make. And this is what you need. You need a sheet of copper foil. Once again, we'll tell you how to get it in the booklet that accompanies the series. And then you want to get a cardboard template of the leaf that you want to cut out. Now clearly you can use any leaf shape you like, but I wanted to use an oak leaf because I think it's particularly suitable for this metal. Hold it down on the metal and take a sharp instrument like a bradawl and go round the edge of the leaf. Now don't press too hard, because you'll find this is fairly soft metal. You just want to make an indentation to get your leaf shape. So I'm just going around it very quickly to give you an idea of what it looks like. Okay, lift that off. And I think you can just see the leaf shape there. And what I'm going to do with my bradawl now is mark on the veining on the leaves. There we go. This is pretty basic, but you can be as detailed as you like. So when you've done the whole leaf, then you can take a pair of scissors and start to cut this leaf out. And I'm not going to cut the whole leaf, but I just want to show you how easy it is to cut this metal. It's very, very soft, and you will not blunt your scissors. Just going around here, look how simple that is. Now when you've cut out the whole leaf, and I've just got one here that I've done, you just want to snip the bottom there on the stem, because we're going to work that onto our garland. Now I got some copper wire on a roll from my local builder's merchant. Here it is. And that was about £3 for about 7 meters. And I'm now going to feed my leaf onto that and wind round with that stem at the bottom. Now it will be a little bit loose, and you can secure it with sellotape if you want to, but frankly I would leave it because I like the way the leaves move. I think it's part of the beauty of the garland. They really are like real oak leaves just fluttering on the branch. So you keep going until you've covered the length of wire that you want to cover. And as I say, if you want to do a 6-foot garland, that's about 50 oak leaves, and it'll take you 3 or 4 hours. But once you've done it for life. One last word about this metal here. It can be a wee bit sharp around the edge, so if children are making this, please don't leave them unattended. Now, as a final suggestion, if you're really pushed for time and you want something to lift your decorations in the house, what about this bronzed ivy? Now, I just plucked some ivy from the garden and sprayed it with bronze spray paint and let it dry out. And then you can do any number of things with it, and just a few suggestions. How about making curtain tiebacks with it? It's a nice novel idea. Or you could wind it around the top of a chair around the dining table, or indeed put it on the dining table itself just to decorate the table surface. Or you could put it in your existing wreaths and garlands if they're looking a little bit tired, just to lift them and bring a bit more colour into the house. So whatever your tastes, whether they're contemporary or whether you want something very natural and a little bit more old-fashioned, I hope there's something here for you.